of the easiest mental training tools is mental imagery or visualization. It is probably one of the easiest mental training tools and my favorite for sure. Mental training tool such as visualization has been scientifically proven to enhance an athlete's performance.
We spoke about power of visualization and preparing yourself for possible scenarios, and I obviously try to play the match in my mind before I go on the court, and I probably could not play this kind of scenario, but I always try to imagine myself as a winner.
Visualization improves concentration, it improves your confidence, your emotional regulation, it reduces anxiety, and it improves your motor skills. So, motor skills are any physical skills that you are performing, such as like a foul shot.
First contact with sports psychology was when I was about 14, 15 years old. I was quite good in judo. Yeah, did much training, more training than others, but in competition I often lost against opponents that I would normally beat. But I lost because my head was full of negative thoughts and I was not focused. I thought about what would happen if I lose the fight. So that's when I started first time to work with a sports psychologist to help me get positive thoughts, to visualize how I would do a good fight, to focus on my strong techniques.
Visualizing it just mentally prepares you, and you can kind of check that box off. And I think that's what we wanted to do. Every time we got to a major international competition, we wanted to check off as many boxes as we could. Because if we did that, then what else do we have to worry about?
What is so crazy and awesome about this is neuroplasticity. So the same neural activations happen in the brain when you are visualizing something or actually performing the task. And what is mind-blowing is that as you visualize more and more, it strengthens the neuron connections in the brain, which is called neuroplasticity. And the craziest thing about this all is that brain cannot tell apart between real or imagined. So why not keep visualizing as an athlete your skills, technique, specific episodes, and so forth?
When I would visualize, I visualize every single, getting up to a meet, I would visualize probably a month or so in advance, just of what could happen, what I want to happen, and what I don't want to happen. Because when it happened, I was prepared for it.
There are two types of imagery. So one is internal, which is imagining mentally something from your own perspective, from the first person's perspective. So me imagining running a stadium. The second is external mental imagery, which means that you are visualizing something from the third person's perspective, such as you watching yourself from the stands of the stadium, how you're running the stadium, for example.
So once you can put yourself in a relaxed state, then I tell them it's like watching a movie. So it's essentially what it is. Sometimes it's like you're sitting in the stands watching yourself swim. And sometimes it's like you're in the water swimming. The key to visualization is, number one, it has to be very vivid. It has to be rehearsed many, many times. And the reason it works is because the brain cannot distinguish between something that's really vividly visualized and something that's real. So by the time Michael steps up on the block to swim a race in a World Championships or Olympic Games, he's swum that race hundreds of times in his mind before he gets up there. So then when he gets up, all he has to do is shut everything down and it goes on autopilot. His body automatically knows what to do. The brain just switches into what he's visualized. And that's what's really powerful about visualization.
When I would visualize, it would be what you want it to be, what you don't want it to be, what it could be.
Yeah.
So it's like you're always ready for anything that comes your way. So it's like if I would have a suit rip, fine, I need another suit, put it on.
You know, like any small thing that could go wrong, I'm ready for.
Okay, the most important things to remember about visualization is always end with a positive note. Never end visualization with something negative. So let's say I'm visualizing myself in a game and I see a lot of failure or maybe me getting injured. Please don't stop there. Keep visualizing until you can see those situations in a positive outcome. Second, keep visualizing as vividly as you can. So the more detail into it, the better. Visualize colors, sounds, emotions that you are feeling. Maybe you can smell something in that visualization. So the more detail you add to it, the better. Remember about visualizing internal mental imagery and external. So from the first person's perspective and from the third. And also, if you feel like you cannot visualize well, you can always train this, okay? This is a skill you acquire. So basically, you can start by simply visualizing yourself going from your room to the kitchen, or how do you make it to the gym? So what's the route you take usually? Do these mental images constantly, because basically it's rehearsing from your memory the situations you've been through and making them more positive. And you can visualize your future as well, the outcomes you would like to be. So listen to some of these athletes who have had experience with visualization, and I tell you, this has been scientifically proven, studied, and many athletes, if not all elite athletes, do mental imagery and visualization. This is what sets you apart. Mental training from good athletes to great athletes.